This is reading time with Tiffany and Kelsey.
It's called Tiffany's Table Manners for teenagers or for people like you.
And me.
And me. This is called the soup course. The soup is brought to the table and the soup plate at dinner. The soup spoon is held in the right hand with the thumb on the top. Don't hold it like this.
Really?
And don't hold it like a mashy niblick. This is not par for this course.
What's a niblick?
I don't know.
We'll look that up. Dictionary.com.
When you're eating soup, the soup spoon is tipped slightly away from you and is filled by moving it away from you.
You move it away.
That's right, not towards you. Sip the soup from the side of the spoon or from the end. Where's the kitty? Where'd she go? Ran away from
There's
me.
the bagoo.
Look, it's my own mistletoe. Who wants to kiss me? Kiss me. Come back. Some don'ts. Don't let your elbows stick out like flying buttresses. Don't try to eat with your elbows on the table. It hampers your movements and you may spill your food. Elbows should operate freely. You may, however, rest your elbows on the table when you're not eating. Don't leave your spoon in your coffee cup. Don't put too much in your mouth at once. It looks as if you were brought up in a kennel. Don't chew with your mouth open, and don't smack your lips. Not only is it unappetizing, but it interferes with other people's conversation. Don't talk with your mouth full. Some of your lunch might fall out. You must learn, however, to talk with a little in your mouth, simply because you can't always wait until you've swallowed everything before answering a question. So if you take a little at a time, you will always be ready to join the conversation. This takes skill and practice.
Some of y'all. I got some burned bean curd in my mouth.
A little at a time.
Small, little, frisk bites. What are we not doing?
Bad manners.
Okay.
When eating corn on the cob, hold it in both hands. Don't stick handles into each end as a butt. It looks too precious and artificial.
What the heck is that?
Don't eat chicken with your fingers, except at a picnic. With a little practice, you can dislodge enough chicken with your knife and fork to keep body and soul together until your next meal.
I did not know that.
If you knock over your water glass, don't say, oops. Right the glass and keep talking to your partner. Don't start mopping the table with your napkin.
Way to make a scene, people. God.
If you spill the water on your partner's dress, offer her your napkin and say you're sorry. If you spill the water on your partner's dress, don't offer her your napkin and say you're sorry. But don't start mopping her. It might be misunderstood. If you happen to drop your knife or fork on the floor, don't dive down after it to peer down at it. Pick up another one and proceed according to plan.
What? Where do you pick it up from?
Don't try to eat leaning back. It looks awful. And besides, you will no doubt spill food on your shirt.
Look at it.
Sit erect.
Back straight. Chest out. Head up. Ugh.
Don't slouch.
Don't slouch. It's not polite.
If you find some gristle or a piece of meat you cannot chew.
Continuation on the meat.
If you find some gristle or a piece of meat you cannot swallow, don't spit it out on your plate or into your fist. Chew it to as small a piece as possible and then place it on the prongs of your fork or into your spoon if the course calls for a spoon. Then place it on the rim of your plate. Don't let this embarrass you. It is perfectly correct. All the pits or fish bones should be removed with your fingers.
I didn't think that. Oh, well, that makes sense, though.
Don't throw your arm over the back of your chair.
Can you see if it made it? Okay.
Don't sit on the back of your neck.
What the heck is that? Oh.
Don't air your views in a loud voice. Be more interested in hearing the other person's views and expressing your own. That is the essence of good conversation.
It's nice to see you today, Tiff.
I feel great. How do you feel?
Do's and don'ts. Continued.
Okay. When the table turns, don't get left staring into space. Turn immediately to the girl on your left. If she doesn't turn to you, lean over and say something like this. How about getting rid of that fascinating fellow on your left and paying a little attention to me?
That's how
Don't
you get
forget, faint, heart, never, etc., etc.
You're supposed to start hitting on me.
Hey,
Yeah?
I'm talking to you.
How you doing, honey?
Hey, why don't you lose the guy next to you? Because I got something to talk about.
Oh, shit, amor.
Merci, Mom. Just so you know, this was written in 1961, and the illustrations were from 1961. It's pretty cool.
Who wrote the book?
It was the chairman of
Tiffany's and Co.
Walter Hoving. If you have to blow your nose, don't be embarrassed. Just blow it. But use your handkerchief, not your napkin. If perchance you inadvertently burp or your stomach rumbles, don't pat your stomach or your chest or make any inane remarks about it. Above all, be natural. Don't put on airs or try to be backstairs refined by sticking your finger out at a 90-degree angle when you lift your cup to your mouth. And don't chew your food in a mincing, silly way. Just be yourself. Don't push a plate away from you when you're through. Leave it where it is with the silverware properly placed.
I'd be pissed if somebody did that to me. For the last don'ts.
Don't get up from the table until your hostess rises. And don't leave the dining room until your elders have left it. So now that you know the rules, you can start breaking them. Don't forget, though, it takes a lot of social know-how to break rules. Remember that a dinner party is not a funeral, nor has your hostess invited you because she thinks you are in dire need of food. You are there to be entertaining. Be gay. Do your part. Don't be a gloom.
And out.
Take the piece on the outside first. Some people arrange the silver by size, so you have to learn to tell a fish knife from a meat knife and a fish fork from a meat fork. If there is no fish knife and fork, use the smaller knife and fork for the fish. If you make a mistake, just continue eating. Don't put the silver back on the table. Be nonchalant. Around your neck or stick it in your belt. The fish or meat will be served to you on your left side. The serving fork in your left hand and the serving spoon in your right, holding them as pictured above.
Interesting.
After you've served yourself, place the serving spoon and fork side by side on the platter. Vegetables should also be placed on your plate. Side dishes, except for salads, are not used at home, only in restaurants.
I had no idea. No, I knew that. Yeah, because they're never put on your plate.
When serving yourself, take small portions. If you don't like what is served, it is permissible to refuse it. But don't find yourself with nothing on your plate. If you do, your hostess may remark about it, which might be embarrassing for you.
And just rude in general.
You don't have to wait for your hostess to start eating, but don't leap at your food like an Irish wolfhound.
The first person that finishes their meal, that is the rudest person at the table. You do not want to be the first person.
Don't you love that? But don't leap at your food like an Irish wolfhound.
It's an Irish wolf.
This soup course. By the way, Tiffany's table manners for teenagers. or for adults like such as us. The
Well,
soup
I already
course.
had 2 manners.
I did too, but you know.
It's always good to.
It's a little bit.
It's good to
a little bit
refresh
rusty.
ones.
It's a little bit rusty.
Yeah.
The soup is brought to the table in the soup plate at dinner.